Sarah from a Cherry on Top's design team, and I have a little tutorial for you today. So for this week's Technique Tuesday, I'm going to be teaching you a fun stitching project that is easy to accomplish, and it shouldn't hurt your fingers too much. Should be pretty easy to do. So what you need is a shape template of some sort. The shape needs to be symmetrical. So you need to do something that is a square, a circle. You could probably do a rectangle. You need a symmetrical shape. You need a template for this shape. So a couple ways you can get templates. I'm going to use this lovely older template circle, or it's like a scallop circle, a large one from my tool cabinet here. You can use other things, but this is what I have handy. I'm going to use it. You can use this if you have a stencil that is, you know, not square, but smaller. You can sit it down if it has a decorative edge, and then you can just use the outside of the stencil. Really simple way to accomplish this technique is to get a simple shape, put it in your silhouette, blow it up, cut it out of just icky whatever cardstock, and you can use that as a template too, because we're just going to be tracing around the outside edge of whatever your template is. The other thing you're going to need is some nice white cardstock or a colored cardstock, but you want something pretty heavy and pretty nice, bright and white. For embroidery floss, you need 3. For what I'm going to do today, we're going to do 3 different colors. You need a good amount of all 3. If you want to match them to a photo, if you want to match them to a collection, that's a really great idea. So you can go ahead and use those 3 colors of the floss. You're going to need a pokey tool. So this is an old pokey tool from my stash, but another couple of options would be a pokey tool that looks like this. This one from Tim Holtz, pokey tool, or just a push pin. If you have just a push pin like this, that will work well too. This might hurt your hand a little bit after a while, but you'll be fine. If you don't have anything else, it will work. Maybe you can do it in like little sections. Let me put these back. The last thing you're going to need to create the layout we're going to create today is a mat of some sort. So I am really simple with this. This is a big old inexpensive mouse pad. Works fabulously. If you have an old mouse pad hanging around that you don't use anymore, look, this one is really old. It's like yucky in the back. You don't need anything special. You just need any old kind of a mouse pad will do. The bigger the better, because of course we're doing a 12 by 12 layout, but really easy. Okay, so let's get started and create our stitching project. I also totally forgot to tell you, you're gonna need a T-square ruler and a pencil. So initially I thought I was going to do my stitching with the inside, but I didn't like it, so I just flipped the paper over. So just so you know, I am making my pencil lines quite dark for the purpose of you being able to see them on the video. When you trace your template, please write very lightly. Otherwise, you're going to have a ton of erasing to do, like I did. So I'm going to use the T-square ruler, and I'm kind of lining my paper up on the ruler that is on my cutting mat. And I'm going to mark the middle of my page. See here, everything that I'm doing really dark needs to be quite lighter when you do it. Now I'm going to take my pokey tool, whatever that is, and I am going to make lots of little holes. I'm making one in the middle that is a bit larger, and then I'm going to do the entire outside of my template. You can space the holes out every 1/4 inch. You can space them out a little closer together, a little further apart. I did not in any way, shape, or form measure these holes. I just did it by eye. And you can see here, I'm going to show you how I placed all those little holes, and I'm going around the entire outside of the template. Now, once that's finished, the very next step is I'm going to divide my template into thirds. So again, I'm using the ruler, and again, I'm making these pencil lines much darker than you would want to make them when you do it. And now we're going to do a little bit of stitching. So I have 3 different colors of embroidery floss. You need a lot of embroidery floss. I would say if you have a brand new embroidery floss for each color you're going to use, that would be really good because you will go through quite a lot of it. I'm just going to go through all of my very untidy and disorganized thread and grab a needle here. I am extraordinarily untidy with my thread. I'm sorry. You want to start at the back and you want to pull through the middle first. So you want to pull through the middle, put a little knot on the end, and you're really easily just going to take this thread. You're going to go through the middle. You're going to go up to one of those holes that you poked, come back up through the middle again, and you're just going to continue to do this. Now, I alternated mine a bit, so for the first couple of passes of the thread for a little section, I did every hole I had punched. When I got to the back of my page, I just secured my loose threads with some washi tape, just whatever I had hanging around, and then I can rethread my needle and continue on. Now here's where I show you. So I started out with the really close threads, and then I angled them to be a little bit further apart, and I love the way that that looks. And now you can see here, I have just the pink section done. I'm showing you that you're going to need to make a larger hole at this point. Just take your scissors and make a nice big hole. You're not going to be able to tell in the end that there is a big, the hole is not going to be visible at all because we are using so much thread. Again, cutting off the end of that thread and attaching everything with washi tape, and you see that lovely mess. It's going to only get worse as I go through. Now that is one section. That's just the pink section. I'm doing 3 colors. You could do as many colors as you like. I really like the difference in style and texture that happens when you start doing every hole and then do every other hole and then back to a section of doing every hole. And I am using a sand eraser to get rid of all of those pencil marks. This is really why you want to keep those pencil marks light. These sand erasers are amazing. I'm going to make sure they are part of the products used and link them up in the description box below. But yeah, these are great erasers, and they did a fabulous job getting rid of all of those pencil marks. And once I had all of the pencil marks erased completely, I went ahead and Now I'm going to do the yellow section and the green section exactly the way I did that pink section. Here's what our finished stitched paper looks like when it is all stitched and done. You can see the hole in the middle totally covered up. You can, if you look really, really closely, you can see my pencil marks, but that's only because I made them super dark so that it could be seen on the video. Now, what you want to do last is you want to flip this over, and you see what a hot mess we've got back here? This is a square 8x8 sheet of paper. You want to take that square 8x8 sheet of paper. I'm going to use Nuvo Deluxe adhesive because it is my favorite wet glue, but whatever you have and use that is your favorite wet glue, you want to just kind of cover that square piece of paper with that glue. Flip it over. You want to smoosh it down really, really good. And then put a nice heavy book or an album on it just for a couple minutes, and that's going to get that glue in there and set so that you're not ripping at the washi tape, you're not ripping at the stitching as you create your layout. So that's my technique this month for Technique Tuesday. I hope you'll give this a try. I will have a process video where I use this stitched background to create a layout up on my channel later on this week. And I will see you all again next month for Technique Tuesday. Bye.